Hello and welcome to this Color It In video. Today I'm going to show you how to color this hungry little frog. And if you want to do this project at home and follow along with me, then you'll need to print the frog page from my e-coloring book number 1, which will be linked down below. And you can just print this either on regular printer paper or smooth cardstock. You'll also need the 36 set of Noyo Gel Crayons by Doodle Hog, which will also be linked down below. You'll also need a wet wipe and a paper towel or apron to clean and dry your hands between colors. Okay, let's get started. I'll start with the yellow-orange color from the box to color a bright sky. So first I'll use those section guides on the frame to section off this left side here. And then I will carefully outline the frog and the borders of the frame. And by the way, you can turn your page whichever way you need to. Just make sure that the bottom of your hand doesn't smudge your color. Now make a really thick outline around your frog, because this will act as a barrier to keep you from accidentally coloring the frog as you color the sky. So let's just go ahead and start coloring, and notice that I'm keeping my strokes really close together, and I'm also coloring in overlapping rows. This will help you cover up the paper and color neatly. Now, holding down the paper with one hand, I'm going to start blending by outlining with my finger first and then working my way into the rest of the color. Now I'm going to speed up the video on this next section because it's the exact same process for this side of the sky, which is to outline, color, and then blend. But you take your time and pause the video whenever you need to catch up. And make sure to carefully outline the fly as well before coloring. Okay, now let's clean off our fingers before moving on to the next color, which will be light blue for the water in the background. I'll follow the same pattern as the sky, which is to make a thick outline and then color and then blend. So you see here how I'm going back and I'm making an even thicker outline, because now I can just have fun as I color without worrying about accidentally coloring the frog. And you'll notice that a lot of crumbs are going to start to form on your paper, but those are actually a good thing because they'll help us when we blend. Okay, now time to blend. Remember to outline first, nice and neat, and then work your way into the rest of the blue. Now I'm going to speed up the video again because it's the same process on this other side of the water. But notice that I smoothed off the crumbs from my color before outlining. That will help me outline more neatly. Time to clean off the fingers. And we'll move on to the lightest green from the box, smoothing off any crumbs before we start. Watch how I use the section guide to help me section off the frog's face. Sectioning off large shapes helps to stay organized and neat while we color. Now I'm going to carefully make a thick outline around that section of the frog, as well as around the tongue. Now I'm ready to color it in. And just slow down a little bit around the mouth to stay neat and clean, and follow the curves of his face. Now let's blend, being careful to keep our fingers inside of the frog's head. Now we'll repeat the same thing on the other side of his face. Sometimes I like to clean off my finger on the picture so I don't waste my color. So thick outline. Now I can just have fun coloring. And now let's blend everything. And using that same green, I'm going to work on this side of the frog's body. So I'm using that section guide to figure out where to section it off. And this shape is small enough that I can color this side of the frog, and then I will blend both sections together. Okay, now I can blend it all together. Outline first, the whole thing, and then work your way in. See how all those crumbs kind of help us out? They help us to cover up all the spots of paper showing through. And I'll use that same green color to color his eyes. You'll see here that the green went outside of the line a bit, but no big deal, I just scraped the green off of the sky color with my fingernail. See how that just comes right off? Now watch how I colored this. What I did was I just kept following that shape of the oval over and over, round and around. And I'm actually going to blend it the same way. Round and around. And now I'll do the same thing on the other side. Smoothing off the crumbs first, especially during outlining. Now for the belly, I'm using that dark minty green color from the box. It's the one that almost looks like a blue-green, but it's not that super dark blue-green. And if you're not sure what color I'm talking about, you can just do a tester on a scrap piece of paper to make sure that it matches the color that you see there on the screen. For the tongue, I'll use the lightest pink from the box, which is the one with that purpley pink barrel. Now this is a really small shape, so find an edge on the tip of your color and really take your time. And when you blend, just go in short little strokes, barely patting the paper to stay nice and neat. And now using the dark green from the box, so not that super dark foresty green, it's the other dark green, I'll use that to outline the frog. Really take your time, Make sure to keep your color on that gray line and don't let it float outside of the frog or inside of the frog. And notice that I'm pulling my arm around the shape, barely moving my wrist. That will help you get control of your lines. And make sure that you can always see where your color is landing. So you see how slow I'm going? I'm really making sure that I'm doing a nice, neat job of this. So don't rush this part. And remember, if you get crumbs gathering up on the tip of your color, just make sure to smooth them off. I got some crumbs on my outline, so now I'm going to use my pinky to carefully smooth them out. Just barely touch the paper on this part. Now I'm going to use the dark pink to outline the tongue. And now I'll use that same dark green to outline his silly little eyebrows. And I'll use the dark gray to outline the fly marks. I don't want to use the black because it'll look too harsh up against that bright sky. And you know what? I'm going to leave it here. Now you could add details like spots on the frog, dark orange clouds, or even white water lines, but I wanted to keep this one simple for the young kids following along who need help with their motor skills and neatness. So, ta-da! We are done. If you enjoyed this lesson, please like and subscribe, and I will see you for the next one. Okay, bye-bye.